Part of their agenda is to deceive and to water this down. They're placing people in these positions. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. Yes, there's a very detailed, specific campaign to control the churches. And a lot of these churches, if you start tracing where their money's coming from, a lot of churches receive money through the Rockefellers, and so the point is they're not going to bite the hand that feeds it,
That's true.
I'll tell the listeners out there, because, the Illuminati is not afraid of Christendom. They are not afraid of the Bible. Now, they should be afraid of God, but they're not God-fearing people, and I have seen some of these people, and I have been amazed at the pride that controls their thinking, and they really mock God. And of course, we're told that God is not going to be mocked, but they mock the whole thing. And they're not above using religious terms. They're not above creating a Christian denomination. They don't even care if the minister preaches a sound sermon, as long as they control it. Like the Word of God says that the truth will not save you, it's the love of the truth. And that's in 2 Thessalonians. Now, that's so true. Going back to the scriptures, because a lot of the listeners probably are scriptures, when I talk about the Illuminati, I'm really speaking biblical concepts. In 1 John it says the whole world lies in the control of the evil one. It says in another spot that Satan's the god of this world. It says in Psalms 2 that the kings of the earth join together and conspire against God and His elect. So when I'm talking about a secret governing elite that are generational Satanists, I'm not saying anything that's unbiblical. But it surprises me how many people within Christendom or within the churches are really upset by hearing these kind of things. For some reason, for different reasons, they want to live in a nice, warm, fuzzy world. They want to think that somehow the Republicans and Democrats are going to rescue us. They want to. They think that if it gets bad enough that they'll be raptured out, so they don't need to do anything. They think that falsely that all they need to do is have read sinner's prayer for 5 minutes, and that's the extent of what God expects from them. And so they don't want to face the problems, the reality that we're in. Mr.
Springmeier, would you say that the current Christianity and the churches, who's more at fault? Is it the Christians who fail to read their Bible beyond what is read to them at church, or is it the church's fault for failing to read the whole gospel instead of keeping selective parts that they don't read?
Well, the way I would approach that is referring back to the research in my massive 800-page Be Wise as Serpents. My book, Be Wise as Serpents, is an overview of the control of the world system of systems. I especially go into the religious aspect. And what I do is I go denomination by denomination, and a lot of these denominations were created by Freemasons and have been controlled by Freemasons. And not only that, but a lot of Christian education seminaries and whatnot have been controlled by Freemasons. The point I'm making is Christianity has been made into a program multiple personality, if you want to describe it that way. And so it's not something that Christ did. It's people that actually have an anti-Christ agenda have come in and hijacked Christianity, turned it into what I call Christendom, and they have created all these denominations. Each one of them has a little bit of the truth, and they all want to strut around like they're the best. And we need to get away from that. We need, Christ said, the scriptures were totally against denominationalism. And so that's one of the problems there, is the leadership of these churches has been created. I expose some of the leadership, the top leadership in Christianity are actually people that have been placed there by the Illuminati, financed by the Illuminati, and put there. So Christendom's been hijacked. So they're being given from the pulpit. They're being fed bad information. They're being lulled to sleep, and so it's not entirely the fault of the lay people sitting there in the pew. But another way of looking at it is we're all adults, and we all have to stand responsible for the decisions we make. And if we're going to sit in a church that's lukewarm, that's not preaching the truth, we can't blame the preacher when we go before God's judgment.